Dire team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 4 Asian Division. We have a best of 2 going on between Invasion and Kingdom. Currently, Kingdom are up a game, and they see it fit to pick a Spirit Breaker first, and I'm completely okay with this.
Absolutely. It was banned out last game, and hopefully it works out for them this time around. I absolutely love Spirit Breaker as a hero. He's a lot of fun to play and quite a lot of fun to watch, so can't really complain. Invasion, they're going to go for a little bit more of a standard approach in the Batrider for them. Both teams have some decent global pickoff, Batrider definitely being the more stable.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of initiation power from either end. Looking at the bans, Centaur getting kicked out rather early, Razor Brewmaster justifiable, Elder Titan, as I said last game, is also going to be first banned, and Invasion also going to go with the Witch Doctor as their pick. Not exactly the hero that you want to have in countering the Spirit Breaker. It is very difficult to land the stuns on him, even though he may be charging at you, but Witch Doctor I don't think is capable of stunning him if it's a level 3 or 4 charge.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's very, very difficult to time that. You want something instant, like a Rubik Lift is probably one of the best spells to deal with a Spirit Breaker, like an Earthshaker Fissure, just something along that sort of lines.
Vengeful Spirit is going to be the pick from Kingdom, so they'll have Spirit Breaker to open things up and Vengeful Spirit to follow up with. Usually we see Spirit Breaker being played as a 4-position support. He just charges around, gets kills wherever he can, and then is usually happy with whatever he could do as far as stunning the enemies later on. I don't know what the idea is for first pick Spirit Breaker, but I'm pretty sure you don't first pick a support hero like this.
Yeah, you probably don't, but then again, as far as supporting duos are concerned involving Spirit Breaker, Venge plus Spirit Breaker is a pretty good one. Synergizes decently well with the aggressive potential of the SB, and even if you do lane him as a pseudo support and you roam very liberally with him, I think that was the word I was looking for, it can still transition pretty hard later on into the game, picking up some nice utility for the team, and can be a pretty decent right-clicker in his own right. I kind of have a feeling that we're going to see the Spirit Breaker towards the off lane, but who knows? It's not a hero we get to watch very often. I'm always crossing my fingers for the Troll Spirit Breaker combination. I'm just dropping that global extra attack speed for Spirit Breaker and bash them to oblivion, but I doubt it.
It's not that unlikely. Troll is a viable enough pick, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to justify it. It actually won't be the worst thing to happen, though their lanes might be a little bit low on manpower if they actually decide to go for the Troll. He's okay in lane, but he's certainly not going to auto-win every time someone like a Viper, who's going to have the time of his life pretty much in any single lane. Invasion are going to pick up that hero, and right now their lanes are looking a lot stronger than Kingdom's. Of course, having 3 ranged heroes really helps. With Core, Batrider, and Viper, both those heroes will be able to get a little bit of farm here and there, pretty much guaranteed, even though Kingdom may be looking to play this very aggressively. I don't know if it's going to keep Viper and Batrider out of farming range, because Viper, if he goes towards mid lane, is generally going to be fine, and Batrider, even if you zone him out of the off lane, he could just jungle up.
Yeah, and I think what Invasion are bringing to the table, just all around, is a lot more stable than what Kingdom have. We'll just have to see how it works out for them and what the actual plan is with this Spirit Breaker first pick. Maybe it's just Space Cow for the sake of Space Cow, and although I don't think that's necessarily the greatest ideas, can't knock until you try it, I suppose. Well, we are going to be sitting on quite a lot of reserve time for Kingdom as they contemplate this first pick in the second picking stage. I expect it to just be some sort of standard core for them as far as what's still left in the pool. If they want to have some extra pushing oomph, which definitely isn't a bad thing, Death Prophet is available.
Yeah, and if it does fit in kind of into their aggressive strategy, and look at that, Death Prophet is going to be the pick after all for Kingdom. We might just be missing something completely, because Spirit Breaker might just be like one of Kingdom's specialties, much like how Moscow 5 International just love that Tusk. Spirit Breaker just might be a Kingdom hero. So if that is the case, guys, sincerest apologies. We don't cast enough of this this type of Sea Dota to really know, and I'm sure we'll be learning and remembering this one, assuming it does well. Because if it just fails, then well, it's probably not going to be too memorable. Invasion, they're going to pick up the Tree and Protector as their 4th pick. Kingdom with not too many tools to get around that living armor, And now they have Treant Protector, Witch Doctor heal, and Corrosive Skin. Invasion, though they could put out some serious damage with these heroes, they're also very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, they definitely are. The amount of sustain, especially if Viper goes for a mechanism, is going to be pretty ridiculous for Invasion. Although Witch Doctor and Batrider isolated aren't that tanky, and when they do have a tanky front line in the Viper, or even the Treant Protector to a certain extent, especially with living armor involved, they can be pretty comfortable. But Kingdom, they're going to go for the Omni Knight next. This isn't going to be helping their damage very much at all, although purifying a charging Spirit Breaker is a wonderful combination, and I'm not sure this is exactly the Omni Knight game. At least Kingdom are going for something fresh, or maybe it's not so fresh for them.
Right, so normally we see support Spirit Breaker, and normally we see core role Omni Knight. I don't think that's going to be the case this game. It's possible, but doesn't seem like that's guaranteed, not by any means. So, as far as laning for Kingdom, Death Prophet's going to take a lane by herself. I'm pretty sure that much is guaranteed, but I'm even a little bit hesitant in saying that. But it seems like Kingdom, their lanes are going to be very, very interesting. But no matter what they actually land on in their lanes, they're going to be weaker than Invasion. If you get into a fistfight with the Treant Protector, Witch Doctor, you're probably not going to win with what Kingdom have. Viper as well is just an absolute powerhouse. Probably is best suited versus the Death Prophet right now, but Invasion, their lanes are just pretty much on lockdown. We see Ember Spirit and Naga Siren being banned out as the last heroes. For Invasion, maybe something a little bit more team fighty will be nice. There is no Tidehunter available. They could go for a little bit more hard damage if they really want to, but I think they have enough to be comfortable in this game.
Yeah. Under normal circumstances, I recommend the Void, but up against an Omni Knight and Venge with incredible defensive capabilities against Chronosphere, they're instead going to go for a Spectre. Wasn't exactly the direction that I was expecting, but this means that Invasion, even though they're comfortable taking these early game engagements, are also going to be just fine dragging out this game as long as possible. Spectre is incredibly good once you get those items online, and I'm not sure Kingdom are equipped enough to put early pressure onto the Spectre. We might even see them look towards aggressive tri-lanes, or if not aggressive tri-lanes, roaming very heavily with the Spirit Breaker and Venge.
Yeah, so those two can certainly put a lot of pressure onto the Spectre. Whether or not it'll be enough to kill her off is a different matter entirely. Between Living Armor and that Voodoo Restoration, Spectre is going to get a lot of mileage out of her health pool. And then an Ursa. I love it. Kingdom's like automatically my favorite team. Like, you can't top this. What could possibly be better?
I don't know. I'm always holding out for Huskar.
Rhetorical.
I don't know. It is quite a lot of fun, and it should be entertaining to watch at the very least. Even if it falls flat on their face, these heroes are ones that want to be fighting often and early, and that's great. That's exactly what we want to be seeing. And honestly, I think it might work out for them this game up against Invasion, since they have decided to shore up their late game. Invasion are incredibly reliant on getting Blink Dagger on Batrider and Radiance and bigger items on the Spectre until they're actually able to fight. Although Witch Doctor and Treant Protector are going to offer some nice sustain and make it harder to kill heroes, Ursa can still rip through your living armor like butter.
Yeah, and these are all heroes that are pretty darn good at killing off Spectres. If Spectre does get to that scenario where she's 6-slotted and it's an hour into the game, then maybe Kingdom are going to struggle a little bit more. But the name of the game right now for Kingdom is shut down the Spectre, and to a lesser extent shut down the Batrider. I think those are two heroes that realistically they can get away with killing off. Anyone else probably is a little bit more unlikely to get a kill on, except for the supports, which are always going to be free food. But who knows what Kingdom have planned with this draft. They are not on the dire side, though still going for Roshan with Ursa is not too difficult. Invasion do have a Batrider and Haunt, so they have to play around that. But, man, I don't know. Their draft is just so wild, and I could kind of see where they're going for. They just have this chaotic front line with the Ursa and Spirit Breaker with an Omni Knight backup. It seems kind of hectic, and maybe they're going to suffer from a lack of crowd control. But if they somehow manage to catch people off guard, if they take consistently the numbers advantage, then maybe they're just going to snowball away with this game, because this is a very snowball-heavy draft from Kingdom.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, I suppose we can introduce our teams since we have started out with a pause. On the dire side, we are going to have Invasion with ADTR handling the Treant Protector. FZFC is going to be playing on the Spectre, 343 on the Witch Doctor, Woof Woof or Kesekimba on the Viper, and Ghost on the Batrider.
And for Kingdom, Lee Hong-ki is going to be playing the Ursa, Midas Spirit supporting as the Vengeful Spirit with Fit Line on the Omni Knight. Yomu Kompaku is going to be playing the Spirit Breaker. He played Earthshaker last game, so I'm inclined to think it is in fact going to be a support Spirit Breaker. And then Babo, he is going to be playing the Death Prophet whenever he decides to reconnect into this game. And then that should just about be that. So it is going to be the quote-unquote usual hero assignments for these heroes, unless they decide to swap, which is always possible. A support Spirit Breaker with a support Vengeful, a core Omni Knight. I don't know where Lee Hong-ki is going to be going. He went mid last game. Doesn't seem like that's necessarily the best way to go, but who knows. Sorry, bake cake. That's a great excuse. I love it.
Excellent. Okay, so we're making cakes, and we're going to see how these lanes work out. Looks like offlane Omni Knight's going to be the name of the game for Kingdom without support, although they can always bring in the Spirit Breaker from across the map pretty quickly, and roam up the Vengeful Spirit if they need to do so. Zoning out this Batrider should be pretty easy for them. The Ursa eventually is going to be able to handle this lane 1v1 pretty comfortably, as long as he has a Magic Stick and doesn't get too many stacks of that Napalm onto him.
And for killing off this Batrider, they have Charge and Magic Missile. It might actually be enough, as long as Batrider actually does have his boots, so they're going to need an Earthshock to land. They might need another Lucky Bash on top of it, but killing off this Batrider is certainly not impossible. That being said, Fit Line up on the top lane, facing up against the Witch Doctor and Treant. He's not going to be in that much danger of dying because these heroes don't really have that much burst. They don't really have that many stuns, but just getting into a fistfight with Treant Protector means that Fit Line is probably going to keep off of the creep wave. And that means he's going to have low amounts of experience, low amounts of gold. Jungling for Omni Knight, backup plans for the Omni Knight, kind of limited.
Yeah, I think Omni Knight, the game plan for him is just get as much as possible, and I think that it is going to rely on these supports being able to assist somewhere, or the Omni Knight being able to roam and help out the supports on his own. Omni doesn't really accomplish much, but when you have like a charging Spirit Breaker that you can purify with like a level 2 or 3 purification, that does quite a lot of damage at the early portion of the game.
And Repel is always going to be useful, at least down the line. It should be useful once the magic threat of invasion gets going, but as far as magic damage is concerned, they actually don't have that much. It'll block a lot of Batrider's damage. That's pretty much it. The stuns for invasion, they have Overgrowth, which goes through the Repel. They have Lasso, which goes through the Repel, and Cask will be blocked, but that's about it. So I don't know if this Omni Knight's going to get that much going, especially when he's facing up against a double damage Treant Protector. Oh my god, this is scary. 124, easy. Another 136. If they had an additional stun from anyone, I don't know where the Witch Doctor was, that could have been easily first blood.
Yeah, there's not much else to say. Treant Protector with double damage rune is a beast at level 1. I think the only thing that's scarier is a hasted Treant Protector.
Yeah, hasted Treant Protector, hasted Ogre, these are heroes you don't want to be seeing. Also, what you don't want to be seeing is your courier being sniped over towards mid. No, the Vigilant Fox. Rip in peace. That's a bottle down for the mid lane. Death Prophet versus Viper. This is a matchup where Death Prophet kind of needs the bottle, especially when she's already out of mana.
Yeah. What Witch Doctor costs them up in top by not being there for the paralyzing cask. They still zone out the Omni Knight, and the bottle snipe, in my opinion, is more impactful. Death Prophet, even up against a Viper, is usually one that can get something out of lane. This situation, not going to be so for Babo. He's really going to be able to do squat in this lane without that extra sustain, as well as mana to spam out the Crypt Swarm. Doesn't even have enough for one.
Well, bottom lane, Ghost is going to be messing with Midas and Kompaku. There's level 1 Greater Bash, but he hits level 2, and now he's a charge. They need a Greater Bash once again if they're going to get this kill, but they don't have the boots. They don't have the movement speed to catch up, and Batrider is going to be fine. You're taking quite a bit of damage. Has to be careful not taking one too many hits from the Spirit Breaker. Has quite a bit of base damage from level 1, and the Bat has to respect that fact. He'll be backing off for now, but feeling a little bit more comfortable in this lane than perhaps the Omni Knight is. They are actually pretty even in the last hits, but just that single snipe in the courier is just so crippling. A Death Prophet usually does evenly versus the Viper because she has that health sustain, because she can last hit and shove the wave with Crypt Swarm. If you can't do that, then the Viper is going to be walking all over you. It's 58 base damage, 3 armor versus Viper, and that's not enough.
Yeah, it really isn't. Batrider with Ace Rune was able to be a little bit more aggressive in this bottom lane and has managed to find himself almost level 3. Fit line up towards top, gets to Purify off, and it's going to save his life. Omni Knight, every time he goes up for a little bit of experience, he's having to pay with that in regen, and he's almost out. 1 Tango is all that he has left.
And he has one more Purify, but I don't think that's going to be enough, at least to stick in this lane for much longer. He should be going for some sort of mana sustain item right now, whether it's going to be a bottle or soul ring. Honestly, I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. He just needs something right now because he's going to get stunned this time twice by the cask. ADTR does not have enough mana for a leech seed though, so Fitline should be fine. If that leech seed was there, pretty much first blood status. But instead, Omniknight's going to be walking all the way back to the base. No, not back to the base. He's going to be building a soul ring, but he doesn't actually have it yet. So this is still dangerous for Omniknight. He's being kind of greedy, but he just wants experience right now.
Yeah, there's not enough mana on FCFC for Spectral Dagger, so that makes life a little bit easier for him. But he is definitely playing things a little bit on the risky side. Batrider farming up the enemy woods is going to clean out one stack that I believe he made for himself and has found himself level 3 and Tranquil Boots for his own person. There is a Spirit Breaker walking through. I don't think this is a fight that Ghost can really take, but slow on the turn rate of Spirit Breaker is absolutely ridiculous. We'll be able to snag himself the bounty run, but that's about it.
And still the Batrider with now Tranquils is a little bit faster than that Spirit Breaker. Even though Spirit Breaker now does have boots, no points in haste, he's actually going to go for 2 points in Greater Bash, so he seems to be looking to be very aggressive with right clicks. Fitline up towards top is going to be jumped once again, this time again by double damage ADTR. He's one more punch him. No, it's going to be Spectre to take it. Yes, first blood is drawn. ADTR dropping very, very low. Here comes the cow. I don't think Treant Protector can survive this. He might just die on impact. Also, Venge is teleporting in. Midas Spirit looking for the kill. Will get it on the Treant Protector, but taking a lot of damage from FC because of that Desolate damage. Jewel going down as well. Tower focus now onto FC. Greater Bash is there. Konpaku might actually get this kill because of said Bash. Yes, he will. It's a double kill for the Spirit Breaker, making it even on the top lane, but first blood was still drawn by Invasion.
Yeah, even though First Blood was drawn by Invasion, both of the supports getting experience for that is huge, and killing up the Spectre is also really good for Kingdom. Even though they get the First Blood on the Spectre, in fact, Ursa has overtaken her in CS, being left completely alone in this bottom lane. Lee Honky now has phase boots as well as the Ring of Basilius. Is pretty darn scary for the Batrider to fight up against, especially since the Magic Stick is there for sustain. And Omniknight, just like that, has level 5. Fitline looking to purchase up a soaring in the side shop. He is going to drop one heal on top of him and FZFC, but after all is said and done, it's going to be a fairly even trade when it comes to the gold. But Konpaku is coming in through like a bullet train. Let's see if it is going to connect and get this kill onto Spectre. She does have the Spectral Dagger, and things are looking pretty fishy, so I think Spectre is going to pull out. Or is she?
No, she's not. Choo-choo. Here comes the pain train. FC getting a hit with one bash. They have a Purify, and that will be the death of FC. Spirit Breaker value right there. Going to collect his first charges of that urn. Lee Honky, in the meantime, is being chased down by Ghost and ADTR. Fighting to the death, but stuck in a corner. There's not much you could actually do about that. And it will be a 1-for-1 trade, even as far as that is concerned. But Konpaku's not quite done. He has... Never mind. He is done. Thinking about going for Ketchikimba, but with no support there, that will just be suicide.
He'll secure an Illusion Rune because of it, but as of now, the Spirit Breaker is actually working out for Kingdom probably a little bit more than I thought it would, and they're looking for even more. FCFC under the tower. This is how you play Spirit Breaker. Dive like a man. With a negative urn charge, Konpaku's probably going to die like a man as well, unless he gets a billion bashes, but that's just not in the cards. Decides to change focus onto 343, gets the bash, and now with the negative urn charge, all they need is the Purify to land. He's going to charge him a second time. Purify doesn't get the damage off, but he bashes anyway. Bash onto FCFC. My goodness, this man is a lucky mofo, but he is not going to be able to kill off that Spectre as they just don't have enough mana to sustain. But either way, Spirit Breaker, if you have the balls and you have the RNG on your favor, is a wonderful hero.
This says 17, right? Like, I'm reading this correctly, because I'm pretty sure that was just like 30-ish%. Oh, by the way, someone did decide to try to engage Ketchikimba in the mid lane. It was the Venge, and she was picked off. But my god, that was like 4 bashes almost just in a row. So Spirit Breaker getting pretty damn lucky. I suppose the more you play the hero, the more skilled you get at him, and the more bashes you get. So Spirit Breaker, without those bashes, pretty sure wouldn't have gotten anything, or would have gotten a lot less at the very least. And now he's looking for a little bit more. I guess this is why you max out bash on Spirit Breaker, because if you get 50% bash chance, Greater Bash is actually like the best skill in the game. And here he comes. Yeah. He's going to charge forward for the tree. Sure. No, changing his mind for FC. First hit bash? No, not that lucky. Second hit bash, not going to happen either. Cast going to be thrown. Will be split away by Midas Spirit. It looks like Invasion will peel away from this fight. But Spirit Breaker, I don't think you could hide in your tower. That just isn't going to work.
No, especially not if they have any warheads, but for now they don't. Dream Protector as well as Witch Doctor backing up the Spectre are going to keep her safe, but it's only level 2 into the Living Armor, so FCFC, it's already worn off, and they don't really have that again. If nothing else, this is psychological pressure onto their side, and Kopaku and Vengeful Spirit, or Midas Spirit, are currently just chilling and waiting to find an opening. Leonki, even after dying, is well on his way, presumably towards Blink or Vlad's. Personally, I'd like to see Blink this game just based on how aggressively they're playing. But Vladimir's offering is a great item in Ursa. You can't really complain about it either.
If you're Ursa, you can't leave your fellow space animal hanging like that. You gotta jump in there and help out. With one hero that's really tanky jumping in, it's scary enough. Getting two there, man, what could you do about that? There's not much that you can do except for just hope that your Voodoo Restoration is going to be enough. Death Prophet's actually going to make a rotation out of the mid lane, going towards top. This is going to be a fight brewing, and FZ might be on the receiving end of a charge. Here comes Babo with a haste rune coming in fast with a charge as well. FZ needs some desperate amounts of heals. Death Prophet Exorcism is up. Here comes Ketchikimbo, has a mech completed, and it looks like that Exorcism is going to be doing very, very little. You could be pretty manly as Spirit Breaker, but 1v4 is crossing the line between manly and suicidal.
Yeah, just a little bit, especially in her tier 1 tower. Babo, however, is going to be tagged by a paralyzing cast, bounces back and forth from Midas Spirit. Babo's dropping low. Midas Spirit looks like he's going to eat the brunt of this, but the charge goes into the Viper, looking for the bash, but he's ticked his level 6 in that last fight. The mechanism comes through, and Kesagimba is surviving for a lot longer than he probably should be with the Guardian Angel. Everybody's going to be able to survive through the Spectre Ultimate, and for now, it's just traded cooldowns in an even fight, but now the Batrider has come in. He's going to blink in. He gets the lasso off onto Fit Lion. He's dropping low with the Desolate damage, looking for the Purify, is not going to throw it out. Eventually, does get that heal off onto himself, but not before the Death Prophet falls, and it's going to be a double kill for Kesakimbo. They pop the Spirit Breaker charge as well as that passive to give them that extra movement speed in the chase, and now they bring in the Ursa. Leon keep fighting for all he's worth, doesn't have lifesteal and can't do anything, and now Kumbaka is going to give an ultra kill to Kesakimbo. My goodness, Kingdom just bit off a little bit more than they could chew.
Hey guys, I have a good idea. Let's all just focus the Viper with a mech who has maxed out corrosive skin. That seems like a good idea. Ursa came in and then he was just dead all of a sudden. He was walking through the Firefly the entire time. Really got roughed up on his way over towards Ketchikimba, and Kingdom, they take the chaotic fight that they want, except it's not really going how they wanted it to. They end up getting demolished by this Viper. It turns out Viper is really good in the early game, and you can't just charge him when he has all this backup. Living Armor and Voodoo Restoration value right there. Kumpaku is going to be teleporting up to the top lane once again. Tower is now in deny range, but I don't think Kingdom are going to let this tower fall for free. They are going to either deny it or start a fight over it. And it looks like they will choose the former. As Invasion, they don't get the tower, but man, they get an ultra kill on Viper. And he has mech 10 minutes in, which is already really good. Now he's a Hand of Midas on top of that, because why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean, if you ever get an ultra kill and end a dominating spree from the enemy team, you suddenly find yourself 2,000 gold ahead of them. You can fight without the Midas, why not Midas on top of it? And they'll get that up for themselves. The Ursa, I was expecting Vlad to blink. He has a Staff of Wizardry, and I don't know what this is going to be. And honestly, I'm not sure what the right choice is this game. Force Staff is kind of a better blink. Up against Spectre especially, you can cancel your blink dagger behind tower. FZFC looking for the bash, doesn't even need it. He'll just cast the bash onto him. The Living Armor is going to help out the Spectre a little bit, but another bash from the Spirit Breaker is going to all but secure the kill onto the Spec. Negative Earn Charge does him in.
Now he's behind the tower, but he has a free charge out to where he wants to go for it. It's going to be bottom lane where Babo's going to be jumped. Death Prophet down. He's going to take a fall. No, Kapaku actually fighting 343. Did he get cast right there? I think he did, but he's healthy enough to survive. 84 HP, purified as well. Spirit Breaker is going to make his way out, making a 1-for-1 trade overall. Invasion, I mean, I think they're okay with losing their Spectre, honestly, because as long as their Viper is getting this farm, it's going to be really hard for Kingdom to actually kill him off. Though Spectre's going to need to get farm eventually. I don't know, actually. FC is just not getting anything. I thought the Spectre was not dying as many times as she was, but apparently the Spirit Breaker has been doing his job a lot better than I thought.
Down in bottom, they are going to jump the Batrider just to run down by Ursa, getting that solo kill, but now, with the Viper who's hasted, he's forced to TP out, and will he be able to succeed? He will. It is going to be a 4-staff bear. Okay, I'm okay with this, because of the Viper as well as the Spectre canceling your Blink Daggers and just AoE fire. 4-staff on bear is almost as good as a Blink.
Yeah, I would say it's comparable, and it's certainly going to help Kingdom in getting these aggressive plays off. Ursa, his problem is getting into the fight. Usually Blink Dagger is going to be that choice. I was thinking even Rod of Atos might not be the worst item to pick up in this game, but Force Staff, I think, is completely justifiable, and hey, he's going to put it to good use over towards the mid lane, or at least look to, where they're going to pop the Death Prophet ultimate once again. It will not result into a tower destruction. Kingdom, this draft could have been so much better if they somehow fit a little bit more consistent pushing hero into this. If they had a Jakiro, then they could have gotten away with so many more tower pushes.
Yeah, Death Prophet, although is a very good pushing hero, is incredibly tied down to that cooldown. Up towards top, they are looking again for FCFC. With the Living Armor support, it's a little bit harder. They are going to repel up. Kampaku doesn't have the ultimate. He already spent it, and now is looking for the bashes. Hasn't found a single one. There's one under the Batrider, but that's not really the target. He can focus down, charging away. This time, no paralyzing cast to cancel that immediately, and he should be able to TP out alive, even though he runs through the Viper. Doesn't have a TP, actually, so he's going to have to succeed in this charge. Ends up canceling it inside the enemy woods, so Kampaku is on the wrong side of the map, frankly. Now he's going to run into Kesikimba, and this is just going to be the rundown Medallion to add a little bit of extra damage. It's going to secure an unstoppable spree for this Viper. Blink forward by the bat, doesn't get the lasso onto anybody, and now eating a magic missile to the face is going to be forced back, but now with some extra heals from his supports is going to be in fit fighting shape soon.
Okay, I'm not sure who the Spirit Breaker was actually charging in order to get out of that. I thought he was going to the bottom lane. There's a possibility he was going towards ADTR. Either way, it would have been much better than canceling the charge there. He knew that he just passed the Viper, and actually Ketchikimba's going to get jumped. Ursa doing a whole bunch of damage. The Voodoo Restoration and now Living Armor going to keep Ketchikimba alive, and now the Overgrowth, no, not quite going to be channeled as Kampaku charges right through it. Going to go for 343, but the lasso is there onto Babo. Guardian Angel going to cancel out the Haunt. Babo's still taking a little bit of damage from the fire, but he will be fine enough to survive and keep on going. Swap back onto FCFC. Midas Spirit's going to maybe give his life for this. They're going to chase down the Spectre, and they will bring him down. 2 for 2 so far, as Fit Lion's going to land a nice purification on 2-2. Lee Honki once again struggling to get close enough to anyone to actually do any damage. Force Staff still cooling down, and it looks like that will just about be the end of it. All ultimates used, and in the end, it's just a 2 for 2.
Yeah, and that 2 for 2, it's probably pretty even. The Death Prophet was shut down in lane, as was the Spectre. But honestly, Spectre is kind of a non-hero. If they went for the Blink Dagger on the Ursa, the most useful thing Spectre could do would be to cancel the Blink Dagger with the ult. And that's not actually an overstatement or anything of the sorts. Phase Boots Bracer at 15 minutes in for FCFC with hardly a cent of gold on top of that is not really acceptable for a Spec.
Mid lane, charge coming in. They're not going to be scared of this tower. ADTR going to get hit, and then they're all going to back off, forcing out a TP. Not too bad for a charge, especially when the charge was free because of the fact that it was casted in the base. But yeah, the Ursa survived. The Spectre, unfortunately, still is going to be getting no income whatsoever. Kingdom, I honestly, it's hard to evaluate how powerful their draft is because they have so many rarely seen heroes like Spectre and Ursa. They're pretty darn good in the late game, and they're shutting down Spectre pretty well. If they could get on top of Ketchikimba one more time, they might be able to kill him off, and here comes Space Cow trying to lend an aid there. Overgrowth is going to cancel that. Nether Strike is going to keep Woof Woof here, but no, it's not going to be enough. The Death Ward is going to be canceled, and still it's going to be the survival of the Viper. He's in fact all the way back up to full HP. It's going to be the Ursa, Venge, and Spirit Breaker to fall. Babo's also in the middle of everything. His Exorcism doing next to nothing. Fitline with a nice Purify once again onto 2, but it's not going to matter. He's going to try to TP out of here. He might make it out alive. No, he won't. It's a 5 for 1 in favor of Invasion. Their sustain, their healing power is huge.
It is. The MVP of that fight was maxed out Voodoo Restoration. 40 heal per second is actually ridiculous at this point in the game. That's better than like 3 times heart regen for most of these heroes.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's definitely a lot. And Viper was focused down so hard. They got right on top of him with the Ursa. They only leveled 2 Fury Swipes. Maybe that would have made the difference if it was a higher level. Who knows? Either way, Invasion, they get the decent Overgrowth out, stopping everything. Their Death Ward not even channeling for that long, but just the fact that Kingdom couldn't kill anyone was huge. And now FCFC, he's going to be charged up. He might not be as lucky, although with the Living Armor, that's not going to be enough. It's going to be 1 for 1. Spectre once again taking a fall. Ketchikimba now on the run, but he has backup from Ghost, and FC is going to return to this fight with the buyback Haunt. Lee Honki is going to be going down. Now onto Yomu they go. His stun is going to hit absolutely everyone, but he can't actually charge far enough away, and he's going to be going down. Now it's going to be onto Babo they go. He gets purified, but with Spectre right on top of him, I don't think this Death Prophet can escape. They also get the Viper Strike onto Fitline. He's going to get the repel on himself. No lasso mana available from Ghost, but Midas Spirit can teleport into the wrong neighborhood, gets purified, but gets Overgrowth straight after. Guardian Angel is there. No one going to die just yet from the Kingdom side, except, no, it's going to be Vengeful Spirit to die from magical damage of ADTR's Leech Seed. Now onto the Death Prophet, now onto Fit Lion. Invasion, they can't be stopped, and this is the type of play that I would expect Kingdom to be making, but they just don't have enough damage right now. It's going to be, once again, a clean sweep from Invasion.
Space Cow, he wants it. He's not stopping. The Pain Train stops for no one except for the Viper. Why would you stop there? My goodness, he's going to drop the ultimate and Wolf Whip. Now trying to get a couple of lucky bastards with Purified. It's going to drop into half damage, but that actually doesn't help you. Yuma Kambaku is giving up his life freely to the enemy team. They'll repel up the Ursa, force staff him in, trying to focus down Wolf Whip. The heal isn't there for him, but they have an invis from Nature's Skies, and there's no detection on the Omni Knight. So that's going to be the end of it. There's nothing else that they can do.
Unfortunately, Invasion, they're out of mana. If they had a full mana pool on all their heroes, they would be more than happy to continue this fight, but they have to back off for now. So after all said and done, Invasion are suddenly doubling up Kingdom's kills. They have an Aghanim Scepter on Viper, and having that item 18 minutes in with Plate Mail Mech Midas, Jesus, this Viper is outrageously farmed. 10k for 18 minutes is just disgusting. Can they kill off this Viper? They need to put a Purification into him with Ursa and Spirit Breaker, all focusing him down, and somehow dodge the overgrowth in the process, and somehow the Treant Protector doesn't have living armor up in time. This Viper is just getting to such a devastating point, and at this point, this is, you know, the point where Viper is at his peak, but not by this much.
No, it really isn't. Like, this is okay farm for 30 minutes, and pretty good farm for 30 minutes, and actually, my goodness, like, Gesekimba's actually just... No, he has all the gold. Midas or not, I don't think that was actually the right choice this game, but you can't expect yourself to go 12-0-7. My goodness, if he didn't go for the Midas, we're looking at almost a completed Assault Cuirass or what have you with that Plate Veil. Viper is tankier than any Viper has a right to be at this point in the game.
Oh, Yomu. He's going to be set up down towards bottom. They have a Death Ward. If they overgrow straight into Death Ward, maybe they're going to get the kill, or just Leech Seed into nothing. That's good too, I suppose. They have a Lasso, but there's no Firefly, so looks like Ghost is going to fall back from that one. Invasion, they have the Animitis ticking away. They still have a Spectre. If this game does drag on too late, then maybe Spectre is going to get some gold, and they're going to be okay with that. It's been Kingdom start all of these fights, and it looks like that might be the same as charge up towards top. Yomu is incoming. I don't know who he's going for. In fact, he's going to cancel, as the Viper is going to try to engage the Omnite. Not going to have enough damage for that. Invasion, they're fine with just staying the course until Kingdom make a play. Then they all assemble, and then they probably take a one-team fight since Viper's so big.
Definitely. Tier 1 tower in mid is going to be attempted by Kingdom, but now the Viper shows his ugly face. There's not much else that they can do. With or without backup, he's incredibly scary and just solo zoned out 3 enemy heroes.
Pretty easily done, and he only spent a little bit of mana there. Invasion, mana boot situation, 1 on the Witch Doctor, 1 on the Treant Protector, and that should just about be it. So they have all the, or an appropriate amount of mana sustain. You don't want to invest too heavily into it. Kingdom, they're just going to try to split, or straight push the middle lane, and I don't know if this is going to be the best idea. If they had a Blink Dagger on Ursa, if they had a BKB, if he had, you know, the farm, half the farm of Viper, or, you know, a little bit more than half, I guess he already has, but if he had more farm, is what I'm trying to say, then maybe they could go for the straight push, but no, this Ursa just isn't big enough. He's being kited after he lands like 2 or 3 hits with the Fury swipes.
Definitely. Well, this team coming up from Kingdom, although up until about 16 minutes or so into the game, was pretty even. It's not a team that you want to be just even with. You want to be starting that snowball, and right about the time that I thought they were poised to start taking advantage, they take this really sketchy fight up towards top, and that just feeds so much gold towards the Viper and really feels like the tipping point into their favor. It's a long and hard road for Kingdom to come back in this game. Even if they're on even footing, I'd say that they're, as far as momentum is concerned, behind.
Oh, for sure. They have to make something happen, and probably that involves using Exorcism for a tower push or going for some sort of play with that skill. They're going to just be grouping up on the top lane for some reason. Honestly, I don't even know what the plan is right now. They have Guardian Angel, they have Exorcism. They should be looking for a fight in theory. Maybe they're going to try... Maybe they are going to think that their late game is better if they just sit back and farm, but I don't think that's going to be a safe assumption. Invasion, their hand is forced right now. It's either we defend or we lose top tier 2 tower, and I think they're more than happy to defend. Treant going to find another double damage rune. not going to matter too much now since there's just so many heroes around, but Midas Spirit and Kompaku, they get left behind. And now Spirit Breaker is going to feel the wrath of a double damage Treant Protector beating down on him. One shot taking about 1/8 of his HP, and now it's going to be one clean kill up towards top. And that should just about be it. Honestly, I don't really know why those two heroes stuck around.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Kingdom, even though it's not a safe way to go about this game, taking it late might be their only option. Roshan is another tool that they can use to get back into this game, but honestly, they would have liked to take this 5 minutes ago, even earlier than that. Once Ursa got the Blads after the 4th staff, pretty much, and now with the Bat Rider in the pit, that's the end of that Roshan.
And Ketchikimba is going to get the engagement. Nice flame break onto the high ground with 2 of them. They just can't leave. They're just dead. That was the best flame break I've ever seen in my life.
I think so too. Here, and then boop, up to the high ground.
Easy game, man. Easy flame breaks, easy kills. Oh man, that was... You just can't even, like, Invasion are just adding insult to injury. And I don't know if that was intentional or whatever, but man, that was amazing.
I mean, okay, so if you're not looking to push them onto the high ground, I don't think you throw the flame break here. You throw it like here, trying to bounce them back into the rest of your team. He was going for it, and he got it.
And Ghost, what a player, man. So good. So good. Flame break apparently just has, 5 seconds of disable attached to it. So it turns out flame break is also really good, guys. This just in. 2 kills for Invasion, 2 kills on heroes that matter as well in the Death Prophet and the Omni Knight. And Kingdom, they have to be feeling pretty crappy about that one. They're still just trying to farm a BKB right now. It's going to be a while before that's upcoming. I guess the right part for Kingdom, their only shining light through this is that the Spectre has next to nothing. She has Drums Phase, good for 16 minutes, not good for 24. And she's holding on to quite a bit of gold, but certainly not enough gold to make her a threat. So maybe Kingdom are going to get in under the Spectre still, but it seems unlikely. They're going to try to go for mid lane. Exorcism is there. Viper onto the front line. He doesn't give a damn. They're getting lasso onto Fit Lion. If they could kill off this Omnight before he gets anything off, and they will. This fight is going to be terrible for Kingdom. They're going to lay into Woof Woof, but he's so tanky with that plate mail. Leonki is being worked down by the Spectre and the Bat Rider both. Now into Babo they go. Death Ward is going to be there, and it will kill off the Death Prophet in the end. 3 for 0. Does anyone else want a piece? It's going to be Midas Spirit to stick in the area, though he's invisible, will be just fine. The rest of Invasion, they're going to barrel down the mid lane.
Yeah, and I don't think there's much stopping this barreling into the tier 2 tower at the very least. In 30 seconds, we'll have Kingdom with their 4 forces up, but doesn't even matter. We have a Shiva's Guard completed on this Viper, 25 minutes in, and he has made no stop for any other items. Like, this is absurd. Once you get off to a snowball, sometimes it's really hard to stop, and this is no exception. Woof Woof, I don't think he can be killed. Even Midas with an Invis Rune, what's that actually going to set up? It gives them intel, but it's intel that they would have already gotten, because they're pushing up high ground.
Guys, confirmed the enemies are taking our towers. We have first-hand visual. And, well, that's the tier 2 tower gone. Yomu is going to teleport back because Kingdom, they have no other choice but to try to take a team fight right now. They have Purification, they have a Guardian Angel. They don't have Exorcism, though. They need an Exorcism to fight. And Invasion, they don't have to fight. It looks like they're just going to back off. They could have taken a decent team fight there, and it looks like they still will think about it. No, they're going to teleport back, defend their bottom and top lanes, and I think this is just fine from them. They're not in any rush. They've been taking fight after fight after fight, and it's up to Kingdom to make a play right now. So what play do they make? Nothing substantial.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Spectre is catching up, currently out farming the Death Prophet, only a couple thousand gold behind the Ursa, and even though it's not great farm for FCFC, eventually it's going to be here that they have to deal with. It's probably going to be a 30-minute Radiance for the Spec. I don't think there's anything else that you should be considering when you're pooling this much gold on Spectre this late. But I don't think that really matters. Like, even if Invasion throw away this streak on the Viper, and even though that would be a huge amount of gold towards Kingdom, and they lose a couple of consecutive fights, they have the late game to fall back on if the worst case is realized.
Alright, so Viper is by far the most farmed Viper I've ever seen for this stage in the game. What do you go for next? I think Travels should be a thought for him, although maybe he just wants to go for a damage item, something like an MKB.
Ooh, lasso up top, going to catch a creep, and Baba is able to straight TP out. Okay, that just happened.
Got him. Creep isn't going anywhere, guys. Kill secured.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the CS, so I suppose that is a moral victory. Either way, Viper's build this game, Yeah, I think you just go bots, and then you replace that magic stick with something. I'm not sure what that something is, and I'm not sure it really matters. Butterfly could be absolutely sick for Viper, a nice combination of both defensive and aggressive capabilities, but even if he goes for something like Heart, he's going to be absolutely trucking as far as damage is concerned, just with Nether Toxin.
Well, he threw one Viper Strike over towards the Death Prophet, took out a third of her HP, so there is still that working away. Level 17 Viper right now, is he the highest level in the game? He should be. One level above the Bat Rider, but 3 levels ahead of the enemy Ursa. The levels are getting out of hand in favor of Invasion, and after, well, I mean, it's 11:29, so there's that. That's kind of to be expected. Yomu is going to be charging somewhere, and it looks like it's going to be top lane. No, he TP'd out. Okay. Did not see that TP being channeled.
Yeah. It is something you can do as Spirit Breaker, and, I don't know. I forgot exactly what I was going to say. Either way, they do have the BKB on Ursa now, which is a nice item for Ursa to have, but this game, we've kind of already touched about it, or onto it. They have a lot of ways to control up this Ursa. Inside that blocking bar, with the lasso, the slow coming up for Viper, Ultimate, and Overgrowth, Ursa's not going to be able to really get much done, and now with the lasso up onto the poor Death Prophet, Mask of Madness Bat Rider is going to pull her from here to Kingdom Come, trying to cliff her. It was close, but not quite. Flame Break going to bounce her back into the friendly Omni Knight, and Bat Rider needs to book it. Lasso, looking for the big play, is not going to find it.
Oh, well, it's a little bit unfortunate. Even if they did get her up there, she has a TP, she has a swap right next to her, so there was no way of actually getting a kill there. It was mostly just to see if he can, I think, and the answer right now is no, he can't. They're still looking for blood in this area, though. Bat Rider doesn't have a lasso, so they probably shouldn't be doing this. They're instead going to change their mind and go for Yomu. If they see him charge, instantly Overgrowth is there, Blink Overgrowth even. So Viper with a double damage rune. Oh man, this Spirit Breaker is in so many layers of trouble right now. He's going to charge away, TP, Cask will cancel it. And Yomu is going to get a little bit of distance, but the Haunt is there, and now he's just 100% screwed, especially with that Radiance Burn. Fresh from FC is going to get the kill. And also get the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. Where did that happen? It's over towards the bottom area, where the Bat Rider is going to help out with that one. I think the Haunt also doing most of the work there, but Babo, he's caught out now, and now he's going to get pulled all the way back, a little bit closer towards the Viper. Viper Strike, yes, that will land, but it won't matter because the Death Prophet's dead anyway. Another 3 kills for Invasion.
Okay, so right now a lot of people are asking for the hee game, so I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go hop into the lobby just to make sure that we have somebody there to cast it worst case scenario. Hopefully Mike will be able to join me in this game, wraps up pretty soon, but I just want to make sure that we are actually inside that game. So if we do have to change channels, that'll be over at HeflaTV HB1, but hopefully it'll be over here.
Right guys, so Grandis is going to leave for now. It looks like this game might be ending, but I will keep you updated as Grandis keeps me updated as well. I'm going to finish this game, though, because there is still a game to be had, and it looks like maybe Invasion are going to cooperate with us. They're powerful enough for sure. Just go ahead and end this game. Top lane tower is going to be bulldozed down. Travels are the item choice for Viper and Kingdom. This is their chance to make a defense. However, Bat Rider in a pretty decent position right now is going to take to the skies, and he sees Li Hongqi, and Li Hongqi doesn't have time to get his BKB off. Not like it'll really do that much anyway. He's going to be brought down in a hurry, and he does not have a buyback. Now Wolf Wolf onto Babo. He's going to lay into him. Death Prophet pretty tanky, especially with the Guardian Angel now invulnerable. The Death Ward is going to be channeled, doing next to nothing. And Midas Spirit does get caught by the Guardian Angel. Now he's going to go down, catching him, but throwing out those Viper Strikes left, right, and center. It's going to be Babo to get locked down. Fit Lion to be zoned out. That's going to be 3 for 0 again in favor of Invasion. They don't have creeps here. I think this is backdoor protected. Yes, it is. But they have a lot of mana and they have a lot of sustain. So maybe they'll just go for this anyway. And yes, they will just be happy to tank the tower. Omni Knight is suddenly on the bottom lane. He's like, screw that, guys. I'm just going to push down here. And honestly, I don't blame him because they can't defend this anyway. The Spirit Breaker is just like AFK in base. So yeah, this is certainly happening right now. It looks like Kingdom have called GG. They're not making any defense, and I guess they can't. But this is going to be 2 sets of Raxes, and one set of Raxes will be hard enough to come back from if you are Kingdom. And they are going to fortify, but there's no one here. Here comes Li Hongqi, but there's a lasso waiting for him. He's BKB'd up, and it looks like Ghost wants to go for Midas Spirit. No, he's going to settle for the Ursa. Just an Ursa kill. Oh well, guys, you know, whatever. Ursa's going to be going down. Where's the rest of the team? They're still trying to go in. Yoma's going to charge forward for catch Imba, but he's going to get flame broken right back into a swarm of enemy heroes. Now Overgrowth onto 2. Viper Strike onto Midas. He's going to kill him off with the Death Ward being channeled as well. That's another 4 for 0 trade. Invasion have this game in the bag. There's probably 0 chance they lose this game now. They haven't even touched the bottom line. I didn't even notice this before. There's a tier 1 tower up here, so they can't completely take megas right now, but they've been taking trade after trade, and it looks like we have some begging. Guys, we're getting to that point. Please show mercy. GG has been called, guys. So Grandis chose a kind of an unfortunate time to leave the game, but either way, this game is going to come to a close. Invasion versus Kingdom is going to result in a 1-1 with Kingdom taking game number 1, Invasion taking game number 2. And that means we can join the lobby for Moscow 5 International versus Hehe. Going to be doing that right away, guys. Don't know when the game is going to be starting, but we will be moving on there in a little bit. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Grandis V for this best of 2, and there's more Dota, so don't go anywhere, guys. We got more coming.